I'm not sure where all the frogs are in our garden. They're hiding somewhere, maybe under this climbing hydrangea, or here in some ivy bush with dead leaves, which I leave for them to have a rummage around in. I know I have a frog in there because I see the leaves move now and then. Maybe there's somebody under this ivy, or in the bluebells. They like undergrowth, so you need to let your garden grow a little. Maybe they've gone under this podium. Of course, some of them stay in the pond all year round. I know I've got one or two in there. Keep the grass long as well if you can at this time of year. A log pile is useful for all sorts of insects, and of course your frogs are climbing to, and the birds love it too, and the bees. There's bound to be a frog under that rhubarb. Those leaves create good cover. Now I know I have 4 frogs living in this pond. We also have some little houses. You can get these online. They're not too expensive. They're called toad holes, I think. They tend not to use those and do all sorts of strange things, like lay spawn on the patio last year. This is all rather distressing, and I had to get the clump up and put it in the pond for them. Even though I've got this frog super highway, which allows them to climb up the steps easier to the top half of the garden. Still, what I did as a solution was buy one of these shallow trays from my local DIY centre and created a place on the patio in case they did it again this year. And lo and behold, they did. But in this little haven that I created for them on the patio, you should be able to see some of them little squiggling around inside the pond. They were not a pond, but oh look, there they are. You can see them just there. Now to keep them happy, even though they've got all that vegetation in the water, I prepare some cucumbers for them. Now, tadpoles, they love cucumbers. So you have to peel off the hard bit on the outside. They don't like the hard outer. In fact, you have to keep going and take it as the soft part of the cucumber, which is what the tadpoles prefer. Put those little bits in the compost for the compost bin. You have to be very careful, so if you're watching this and you're a youngster, you may want your parents to help you with cutting the cucumber. You have to cut them into very fine slices. The tadpoles, they've only got small gums to munch on the cucumber, so very fine slices. You soon get the hang of doing this. That one was a little thick, but no, that's around about the right width there for the tadpoles to chew on. And when you want to put them in the pond, just place them on top of the water and they'll float. You can see some tadpoles in the bottom there having a rummage around in the mud. Or if it's not easy to access your water, you can just throw them. Because of the thin slices that you've cut, they'll just come back to the top of the surface and float. Now it takes a few days for the tadpoles to get used to you rummaging around in their water, and they can be frightened when you first put the cucumber slices in. They'll find it a bit of a strange thing, and the first couple of days may be a bit unsuccessful. You just have to be patient, because as soon as they learn that the cucumbers are tasty, they'll not eat that rotting vegetation. Instead, look, they prefer the cucumbers. They love cucumbers, and they eat them from the centre outwards, so they go for the very soft part on the inside, and then they'll work their way outwards until you have a disc, and you can replace the disc later on and put some more slices in. Look, there they are. They love it. And you'll keep your tadpoles very happy and help them grow into froglets.